Hey guys, welcome to Washed Up. Little different episode today. We've got a pretty interesting podcast background and a couple pretty interesting characters here. We've got my buddy Kurt, his buddy Nate, and it's been a while since we've caught up, boys.
Yeah, it sure has. It has.
I think the last time we were all together, we're filming this episode middle of February 2024. It would have been May of last year. We were down here in Nashville, which is where we are right now. And we were actually filming for our new show, which as of the release of this podcast episode will be announced, which we had some fun on camera. Many of the scenes did not make the cut, probably for the better. I remember one night at Whiskey Row, we had some fun, especially Nate. Yeah, there was definitely some things that probably are better left unseen for any audience of any type.
Mm-hmm. Say the same for you gentlemen as well.
Yeah.
So in today's episode, I think one of the things I really wanted to get into is obviously Kurt and I were on Joe Millionaire. One of us was successful in the post Joe Millionaire dating life. One of us is still not successful. And we have one of Kurt's longest tenured friends here in Nate. And so we're going to get right down to the bare bones of what is it about Kurt? Why is he struggling to settle down?
Well, you know, it's a different type of success that he's having. It is the single life. I mean, Kurt is a man of high demands. He is a perfectionist in his work and how he portrays himself, and I think he's looking for that in a partner too. Sometimes we can be our biggest self-sabotagers, and it's hard to pick our partners because it's so easy to look at flaws in people. So I think,
So you're saying he has high standards?
Yes, very high standards.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with high standards. It's not for lack of trying. I'll say that. I think when we were talking on it last night, I feel like I'm every girl's rebound.
Oh, poor you.
Yeah, I'm the guy they go to after their relationship to get back at their ex.
Bad boy.
It's happened too many times to me now, three and counting. And so it's not like I'm not trying. I think I'm just picking the wrong women when I am trying to actually get serious.
Sounds like they're picking you.
Yeah, a little bit of that too.
So I guess you could say Kurt is the foster boyfriend for multiple women at this point. He's the stop before they find their forever home.
We salute you for your service, sir.
Yeah, what was that movie?
Dane Cook, right? Where he's like,
yeah.
Every girl gets married after.
Married right after
Yeah.
him. Yeah. I think that's me right now. It's like just a cycle. It just keeps going.
Well, how's life been? I mean, obviously outside of the dating realm of things, how have things been since we filmed? That had been October of 21, and the show obviously aired in early 2022.
Yeah.
How's things been since?
They're good. It was chaotic that first year, all the fame, if you will, and all the attention. It was a bit counterproductive for work and business. So, after that first year, I really pulled back and just focused on work. And I think that's probably where I'm at with my dating life is I really haven't put that much attention to it. And I'm not out there. Really, I'm not on any dating apps. I mean, I'm not, I'm not really seeking a partner right now. Maybe that's it.
I heard about a new dating app actually from Whitney and Calah who are here. They're taking a nap. It was a long night last night. It's called Raya?
Raya.
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
Yep. I'm not on it.
You haven't tried it yet?
You have to be accepted, right?
Yeah, I got waitlisted. So.
Well, I heard you have to have referrals. I'll give you a good referral for it at
I
least.
had referrals. I think somebody blacklisted me.
Broke one too many hearts, huh?
Well, I remember even when we were filming the show, and here's what so many people don't realize is we were down there outside of Atlanta for 7 weeks, and basically after 8 a.m., we had to almost put our phones away. We did. We had to put our phones up. We put them in a little room. They were locked up the entire rest of the day. You and I were just filming. And we obviously own our own companies. You running your own construction company. You were dealing with, there was a historic house you were dealing with at the time. And it was just giving you all sorts of fits and issues. And you're stressed out about that every single morning, making phone calls, trying to line out your crews, and then having to put your phone away and just be done with it. So there's a whole element to the actual dating show. Everyone's like, oh, that'd be such a dream to go on there and just date all these women. But you still have to handle real life outside of the show aspect.
Yeah, I'd say that 8 weeks set me back in business 8 months, to be
sure.
quite honest.
For sure. And I think so many people are completely dead wrong as far as what they think people make from these shows.
Yeah.
What was our cut? Like $1,000 an episode?
Yeah, I think that's what it was, $1,200 an episode maybe. And they gave me some money to cover my project manager when I was gone, and he ended up just screwing everything up. He was a bad relationship guy. My whole business is built around relationships. It's the only reason why I'm successful is because of the relationships I'm able to maintain with my clients. And he burned so many bridges when I was gone with vendors, with clients, and I got back to just a shitstorm.
Yeah. Oh, it was tough. I mean, I can only imagine. Thankfully, I had my dad and my brothers back home to help things, but you being basically the sole person running your company.
Yeah.
It'd be rough. What did you think whenever he was down there? I mean, did you know? Was he texting you at all in the mornings?
Oh, yeah. I was getting all the
Okay, I was wondering. Yeah, I didn't know if you were hearing about everything.
I was, and it was good. I guess I was very lucky that I was able to help him out, too, with stuff. I'd collect mail, go run, drop off checks, and do a few things. So you definitely had a little extra help there, but I don't know how you would have just dropped everything. And, I couldn't, not having that control when you need to be hands-on and watching, I know that had to have been extremely stressful.
It was just the added stress filming in that environment is very stressful as is. It's a bit of a pressure cooker, and then trying to deal with all the outside influences and work, and it was definitely took its toll on us. I think you too. I know. I mean, I was so ready to be done filming.
There's a couple times where we had some breakdowns where we're like, it ain't worth it. We're done.
Yeah.
We're done. Yeah. We had to be talked down from packing our bags and heading out.
We took our mics off more than one time.
We did.
I remember one time you threw yours down and you're like, I'm fucking out of here.
Later,
Stormed
losers.
off.
Yeah. It's an intense situation whenever you're there and all you have, it's like a warped sense of reality. It's like this own little world that you're living in, but then you still have the outside world you have to care about.
Yeah.
And obviously the producers are there to do one thing, which is film the show. So, it's not that they don't care about what you have going on that side of it, but their sole focus is filming a good show. So they're like, all right, screw your work, like everything outside of this. We're focused on the show right now. And you're like, I can't. Like, I have bills to pay.
They care enough just to keep you moving.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Sure, the added stress added for some good content, too.
It did.
Stress out about just life, and now you got these dating, and it's like, all right, it's even better content for that.
Oh, emotions are cranked up to 10 for sure. What did you think whenever found out Kurt was going on the show? If you had to give a percentage of success, what was your thoughts going in, like, Kurt's going to come out of this with a woman?
Oh, so, it was great because it was so organic for Kurt. He had he didn't apply for it. He didn't try it. Just someone slid his DM, said, hey, we think you'd be great for something. And he had just kind of ended a relationship. He was kind of getting back out there. I was like, dude, this is going to be perfect for you. This will be just an opportunity. You're such a good person. You're so charismatic. You'll be great in front of the cameras. So I was all for him. I was like, let's do this. Because he had some reservations. He was like, I'm just starting my business. I don't know if this is really what I want to do. So once that happened, I was like, yeah, do it. Like, I'm trying to ride the coattails. Let's go, baby. Let's get famous. I'm here for it. No, just kidding. But yeah, so, I think we were both realistic, or, being realistic about it. Like, obviously, it was a short filming time, right? Like, it's spread out over, 2 months when they're airing it, but it's what, y'all said 6 weeks?
6-7 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, so I guess, like you said, being in that bubble, I'm sure it was making things like emotions a lot higher.
Yeah.
Like, you're like, oh, like, I'm really connecting with this person because it's such a stressful time, and like, this is fun. I don't know. I was surprised with this pick. It was definitely.
We all were. I was surprised, and I was there every day.
Yeah. But he would text me. He was like, I really like this girl. We're having like a great organic, friendship too, and it's like fun and it's flirty. And I was like, man, that's really awesome. Like maybe something different.
I think that was my thinking was, we had to pick somebody. They wouldn't have let me walk away without picking somebody. And in hindsight, I wish I did. That would have been a better, cleaner exit. But I knew I couldn't go with Carolyn because she would have made my life a nightmare. And then Amanda, I thought, well, at least we can be friends after. Mm-hmm. I didn't really see myself dating her long term. But I was like, well, maybe we'll be friends. And then she ended up.
We were not friends.
Yeah, they were not friends. Her personality was completely different off the show. So we really didn't mesh at all, actually. So, I was surprised at my choice too. But going into it, if I can be honest, 3 years later now, 2 years later, I knew I wasn't. I mean, come on. Well, I guess you found yours, but I was very skeptical to think some producers who don't know me from Adam could find a woman that suits me, and especially only having 20 women to choose from.
Yeah,
it's a big world out there, and like I said, they didn't know me at all. They didn't know my dating history. So it would have been far-fetched to think they could find my soulmate on a show like that.
So that's a challenge to all you producers out there. Find Curtis.
Creating
a new show, 50 women.
Yeah, we need a larger dating pool of women for Kurt.
More women. We need more Middle Easterners.
It's a global search at this point.
Exactly. Worldwide.
No, I mean, I would agree, and I hate to break the heart of any viewers out there that watch these dating shows thinking that everyone's going on there for 100% right intentions of finding the love of their life, and maybe there are some people that do that, but I know you and I both talked about it. It was more of this is such a unique experience. Who knows what's going to come from it? Why not us? Like, why not say yes?
Yeah.
It's worth the potential benefits of going on the show compared to the risks or detriments of not doing so. And for me, it worked out.
It worked out
which is
well.
kind of crazy. Not to say that Calah and I were in love coming off the show. That's what so many people don't realize is it's such a controlled environment. You don't have enough time to truly get to know someone. So coming off the show, Calah and I were like, okay, I think you're cool. We have a lot of things in common. Let's see where this goes. And it's almost like a reintroduction, like, hey, I'm Steven, I'm Calah. Like, this is my life, especially with the format of the show. And things ended up working out from there. Here we are 2.5 years later. Yeah. And obviously we've had some rocky moments. It's always hasn't been smooth sailing, but in a good place right now.
Yeah, that's how they all go.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys had to work hard for your relationship to get to a point now where you guys are happy.
Feeling pretty solid.
And also just the roller coaster after the show. I mean, everybody's in your business, so it's hard enough to date in a small town or a big city, let alone date in front of a nation.
And everyone thinks they know you from 30 minutes of TV. It's wild. Like, I would post a photo of just me or a story on Instagram, and I wouldn't be smiling, and they're like, oh, no, what did Calah do? Or you guys broke up because she wasn't in a photo. And I'm like,
trouble in paradise.
Not every single photo is going to be Calah and I smiling. There's a whole other life outside of that.
Also, I think it's hard for women. I mean, I understand why I'd be difficult to date. I mean, just look at my social media following. It's like 97% women.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's a big undertaking you got to have a strong woman to come in and not have any feeling about that. Yeah.
Well, and beyond just that, being an entrepreneur, your true love is your company as of right now. Yeah. And it's very, very tough to find a partner that could overtake that, or a woman that could overtake that. There's a lot of months where you're like, hey, the company comes first, until that would flip-flop if it ever does. Mm-hmm. So I think it's really hard for a woman, or any situation where someone has, whether it's a career aspect, super important career, or if they were a sports player, anything that, whatever it may be, if they have that first love, it's really hard to have a relationship come in and say, hey, I'm going to overtake this.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm getting at. Like, I need to find a partner that's equally yoked, that either has her own business going on or wants to step in and help run mine with me, and we can be.
Part of the relationship is built around working together, and that in building up the company together, and building your own familial empire within the company. Yeah, I think that's a special bond that you can have in a relationship.
Absolutely, and that's what I admire. That's why the best thing to come out of the show was meeting you and your family, and our relationship I've always admired family businesses, and that's something that my dad had always dreamed of and was never really able to pull it together, but that's something that I want to take that mantle up with my family, bring my brothers and sisters all together, and really create something. And then beyond that, my wife and my kids, I want to create something that our family can run together.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I think for you and I and our personalities, like, to me, I'm not really a super emotional, like, I feel love. I don't mean to say that I'm a robot or cold-hearted, but to me, like, love is built through stress tests of business. Like, if I can build a business with someone, or they can fight in a battle with me and like be stressed out and we make it through, like that's where I truly fall in love with someone, is through that, not like, oh God, I'm so in love over like a kiss, or you know what I'm saying. I mean, that's where my version of love is a little different than like an emotional feeling love. And I think a lot of guys are like that, especially any guys that are running their own companies. I mean, that's how we view it, at least.
Being there for in like the toughest times.
Exactly.
Like when you step up and show and like I have your back, like that's all a guy wants.
Yeah.
We want that love to be like, you know, it's unconditional love isn't a thing. There's always conditions with it, right? But when you're in that low point and they come in and said, you know what, babe, it's all right. We'll get through it. Like that is like, all right, like I love
like,
you.
damn, I love you.
Yeah, like you were my woman. Like I will do anything for you. Like, that's all we want, ladies. That's all we want.
Yeah, that's all we want. Also, we fight enough battles during the day. The last thing we want to do is fight another battle when we get home. You know, every day is just putting out fires and problem solving. So when we get home to our woman, that the last thing we want to do is then get in another battle.
Yeah, it should be a refuge where you rest and recharge and relax, and like not coming home to strife and conflict. And you know, you're obviously going to have those times where you're having your conflicts, but
it's inevitable
to get through them properly and like to talk to them and communicate. And, that's really what you need, and it is hard to do that. And
it is
in this day and age. Just even finding a partner that is willing to work through things with people and not just run out the door. And there's so many options this day and age with, like I said, Instagram, everything's so readily available. It's it's difficult out there to find your person, and then to spend the rest of your life with them and grow with them and change with them too. I mean, it's a daunting task. It's scary.
It is actually, and that is such a good point about in an entrepreneur's life or any sort of man that is out there trying to make something of himself or push to that next level. Whenever you're dealing with what we call war all day long, and you come home at night, there's something to be said about a woman that brings peace of mind.
Yep.
And that may be like the most attractive trait a woman could have to a guy like any of us three sitting here, is to come home and have peace of mind and a little refuge from the war that you deal with all day long.
Absolutely, man.
That is such an underrated, attractive trait for a woman. So what about, outside of the love life? You're living out there in Charlotte. You've got a really cool group of friends who I've been able to meet, most of them, basically all of them. Any projects in the works? What are you guys doing out there? I know you guys are constantly looking at new projects, trying to do something new and showcase your little slice of heaven out there in Charlotte.
Yeah, so we've had actually a couple producers have reached out about creating a little docu-follow about our friend group in Charlotte, and we're trying to pitch it as I guess you could say like a New York City of the South, kind of a fast-paced entrepreneurs out there following them during the grind, during the day, then the social life, travel, et cetera, et cetera. It's been done before, but we'll see. We'll see if it goes anywhere. We'll see if any networks are interested in it.
So open to another show then?
I'm open to another show. I would never do a dating show again.
We're back. I'm trying to get on this one too. All right, let's go. It's my turn. We also have our container business that we're doing. We're trying to ramp that back up.
Yeah.
He's been super busy with his business. I've been trying to get mine back up and going as well too. So that's something we want to jump into as well.
Yeah.
Come like springtime when construction really starts booming.
Well, you guys need to start posting more content, both of y'all, because you guys have personalities. Like, you guys are a freaking blast to be around at any given time. So you guys got to start putting that out there more.
I know. I've always had this just problem with being called vain, and I think a lot of my reservations with content is coming off that way.
You need to talk to my dad. He'll get you set straight on that.
I remember from the first time I learned about Narcissist back in studying ancient mythology, and I remember that when I was a kid, and that was something I always was weary of, and I think most people don't even understand the term itself,
and that there's only 1% of the population that is actually true narcissists. But every woman will want
to
a label. That is the...
Throw it around immediately.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you are in a fight. Everyone's a narcissist.
Every single time.
Every man's a narcissist.
And I've been in relationships where I've been called that before. And then even, people thought going on the show was... that was being vain or narcissistic. And I'm like, no, it's just about exposure. And it's...
marketing your brand, which is you.
Yeah. And it's also, why not? Why should somebody else take that position when I feel like I've got something to offer the world? And So, you know, for me, it's a much deeper. I don't even know where I'm going with that.
No, I mean, but back to the content thing. Like, you know, we've started posting across our farms page. I do a decent job on my personal page. We're ramping it up, obviously, with the show. We're going to be doing nonstop content, but content is king. And until the world knows about you, we have the opportunity to be able to share our brand quite truly the entire country, if not the entire world. And so to not take advantage of social media, even if it comes across, or even if you get accused by some small population of people of being arrogant or doing it in vain, or you know, some sort of narcissistic demeanor towards it, the only people that'll be talking bad about you are those that are looking up to you. So, you know, it's never anyone above you that's going to be talking bad about you on social media. Like, that is, I have tried to drill that over and over and over to even Calah, because she deals with it so badly. And it's really, really prevalent among women.
Oh, my goodness. Instagram, it's like a new trend now for these comments to just be brutal. And, like, they're just so mean to people. I'm like, yo, like, how do people deal with this?
They are hilarious.
They're pretty funny, but, like, if that was being directed at you, like damn. Like,
yeah, it's so bad. But it never, ever, ever comes from someone who you would envy or want to be like.
Yeah.
Never.
Yeah, I have a quote that you'll never find a hater doing better than you.
Never.
Yeah.
And it's so true. And it's like, you go to these people's profiles, and most of the time they don't even have a freaking profile photo or post. I mean, it's like, that's, you know what?
Yeah. Shouldn't be concerned from criticism from people who you don't want to be like.
Yep.
You know, so if you don't admire somebody, now if you admire somebody and they're criticizing you, then you should
Could you take it? For sure. I mean, constructive criticism and be able to, you know, actually look into it open-mindedly. But, and I tell Calah this, like, nonstop. If someone is not paying your bills or tangibly helping you in your life, don't give a fuck about it. Yeah. Like that, I mean, you hate to be that candid, but that's the truth. Like, I say it all the time to her, because, man, she'll get these comments coming in from just random people. Yeah. I mean, she'll post a photo of just herself, like nothing bad about it, and people will just destroy her, some of these randoms. And I'm like,
crazy.
Are they paying your bills? Are they tangibly helping your life in any capacity whatsoever? Then don't give a fuck about it.
Women are so mean, too. Like, man, we don't even take the time to comment that stuff. If you do as a man, then
we just say it to each other's face and laugh about it.
Yeah. Well, that's why Calah's always so mind blown, because I'm at the gym and I'll be working out, and like random dudes will come up to me and be like, "Bro, you're looking good." She's like, "How are guys like that?"
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's never the girls. Like, I'm doing
guys,
working out. Guys, you look great,
no,
bro.
I get
like,
so like, bros hype me up on social media and in real life more than any women out there ever have.
Yeah.
And she's like, why are guys like that? I'm like, guys are fairly supportive. I mean, I really don't catch hate, and there's been a lot of opportunities. I feel like I'm more of a tool or a douchebag on social media than Calah is, and dude, I barely catch any hate.
Yeah.
So, moral of the story, y'all got to start posting your lives more.
Yeah, you're right. You said content is king, and like you said, there's so many platforms for it, between YouTube, through Instagram, through all these things, and like you're actually kind of leaving a legacy behind too, like something that will be digitally there that people can see.
Yes, and if you think about it, 5 years, 10 years from now, if you have one hell of a story to tell, and you're 100 times beyond what you are now, as far as net worth or company size, whatever it may be, to be able to go back and look at that. It's such a neat story to see it evolving through the good times and the really bad times.
Yeah.
If you could just capture it and post it and find a way to get that consistent content out there. Everyone's got a story worth telling, especially business owners, and especially guys with personalities of your caliber. I think that just getting out there and just making it a consistent habit, almost making it as important as your construction sites.
Yeah.
As getting out there and hunting down that business is getting the content going. So who knows where it'll lead.
I think, too, my struggle outside of wanting to be being worried about being called vain is that the past 2 years, especially, having like guys like you to look up to, I've had a bit of imposter syndrome. So sometimes I feel like, what do I even, who would take my advice on certain things about business? And it's hard to kind of overlook your accomplishments. Because then when I do a deep dive on them, I'm like, well, I did build, in 3 years, I built $1 million construction company. This next year, I think we're projected to do, 2 to 3 million. So, I have built something fairly quickly, and maybe I don't give myself enough credit or don't feel like, people really want to hear that from me. But you know, you're right, because there are plenty of people out there where I was 5 years ago, 4 years ago, that could use that encouragement.
Yeah, and that resonates a lot. I'm right there with you. I mean, I'm on year 8 of my business, and I've been doing it for a long time. And last year was a down year. There was just a freight recession. It was a very difficult time. And I almost was like, I don't know how to do my job. Like, I've been doing this for so long, and I was like, I had that same feeling. Like, I've done this for so long, but, like, I can't do it now. Like, I don't understand it. I felt like an imposter, and it was, like, really damaging for me. And I remember you made a comment, it's like, sometimes you just have to remember who the fuck you are. And, like, sit back and, like, all right, you know what? I can do this. Like, it's a little hard right now, but, you know, when you grind through the tough times, that's when you shine, and that's when things really, you know, that's when you're good in business. When things are tough and they're difficult, and you're making things headways during those times, that's when you really show your levels of, you know, success and
competence.
And, yeah, absolutely.
Well, and business is a race of perseverance. I mean, there's nothing like business. I tell people all the time, if you're not prepared to get up every single day and just get cold cocked right in the face every single day, then you're not ready to be in business, because that's what it is. It's who can outlast is who wins in business.
You're absolutely right.
And whenever you're talking about feeling a little bit of imposter syndrome, I've dealt with that before as well. And I think now I've almost overcome it. I don't think you ever truly overcome it. You could be a billionaire and still feel like an imposter. But if you're looking at success on a level 1 to 10, 10 being the most successful Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk type guys out there, 1 being never owned anything in this world, still working an hourly job, a low-end hourly job. If you're a level 6, you still have something to offer for people's levels 1 through 5. Yeah, you may not be able to reach out or have anything of value for someone on an 8, 9, or 10 level, but there's still a ton of people in that 1 to 5 range that would love to be able to learn from someone that's at a level 6 or wherever you'd consider yourself. You're always a coach to someone at a level before you, someone younger than you that wants that encouragement, because a lot of people would relate more to you than they would listening to advice from a Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk. That's not even a realistic picture. You guys and myself, we're realistic guys that have gone out and done things that any average Joe, no pun intended, could do. And so I think that there's a way to flip imposter syndrome on its head by saying, well, yeah, I'm not going to appeal to those crazy successful people, but I can sure appeal to this 22-year-old college student that's working an hourly job, wants to start his own business. And, I'm $1 million a year business, going to be 2 to 3 this year. There's a lot of advice and coaching that you could offer to someone like that, and they would love to be able to listen to that.
And it's a realistic one, too. Nowadays, you have so many people like, let me show you how to do it. Like, we're going to do this drop shipping, and there's these pages of these people that are giving this advice that they don't really know. Like, we're building this stuff. And I think going back to the imposter syndrome, sometimes, like, we're just doing everything by, as it comes. And, like, we may not know how to do it, but we're going to figure it out. So, like, sometimes going through that and, like, getting stuff done, you're like, I didn't really know what I was going to do, but I still did it. And, like, sometimes that makes it feel like, like maybe it was, like, luck, or, like, you don't take the actual credit for what you did.
Yeah. Yeah.
And imagine being able to document all that.
Yeah.
Like, once you get to the end of saying, this day where this video was taken, I was scared to death, had no idea if I was going to even make it or not. And here we are a year, 5 years, 10 years later, and look at how far we've come. Yeah. That's a cool story to tell. Not only is it cool to tell for everyone else, but more importantly, it's cool for you to look at and say, I did that. Like, I'm proud of myself for these moments where I wanted to give up. I wasn't sure of myself. I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I still persevered and made it through.
Yeah. That's the biggest lesson, and I think for any young entrepreneurs, it is about perseverance. There's so many days where you're going to feel like giving up, or that you took the wrong road because it's too difficult, or that mountain is too tall to climb, and you just gotta remember just one foot in front of the next, and you just keep chugging along. It's like you said, what's that quote? You don't fail, you quit. People don't fail, they quit. And it's so true that in business, if you just keep pushing along, you keep doing the dirty things that you got to do every day just to keep the business moving, you will be successful. And it takes a long time, though. I mean, a long, long time. This year for me has been a growth year, and the business is growing. I'm not really seeing financial success for myself, but the business is having some financial success now, and our project volume is growing. And sometimes even that, I'm like, God, why am I working so damn hard? Like, I'm not getting any richer, but I'm growing something.
You're building the foundation is what you're doing. And you may not see it from above, but there's a lot of underground work being done that is going to pay off.
Yeah.
And that's how you have these overnight successes that people perceive things to be. You didn't see the 10 years of building the foundation
Absolutely.
underground.
That dirty work that no one talks about, that no one's bragging about. Everyone's like, oh, it's so cool you run your own business. Like, yeah, it's cool until shit hits the fan, and I'm the one stressing out. This is my money on the books, and that thing goes belly up. It's my ass. Like,
and the early mornings, the long nights, I mean, you know, it's nothing for me to put a 12-hour day in, and I know you two the same, and that's just something you have to get used to. And you do get some burnout. I think that is a tough thing in business, especially when you're in the grind, is keeping your head above the burnout, because
that's why we come to Nashville.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's what this trip is for, honestly, because it's been May of last year, it's February now, so what is that, like 9-10 months since it's been 9 or 10 months since I've done anything. I know.
I think we came to the farm was last time I traveled.
Yeah, that was July.
Yeah, that was mine too.
So, like, it's been a pretty long grind here lately. So trips like this are a really good way for us to kind of reset. And I know I'll go back and I may be feeling rough, but I'll be rejuvenated in mind, spirit, not so much body. But,
maybe not body, but
Some good stories, good laughs.
Yeah.
but definitely in the mind. And that's something that I keep focused on when I do get bogged down and I feel like I'm getting burnout. I got to remember, it's like, what is the end goal? And for me, the end goal is freedom. And I've already found freedom in my life from doing my own thing. But that's where I want to be. I want the next level of freedom. I want to be able to travel whenever I want to travel. I want to be able to afford whatever I want to afford. I want to be able to build the life for me and my family that I want to build and have nothing stopping me. And that's the empowering thing about entrepreneurship, is it is all on your shoulders, your wins and your losses.
No, I could not agree more. Yeah. Well, I mean, in wrapping up this podcast, what if there's anything you guys want to tell the audience about what you have going on, any cool projects, where to follow you guys? I'm going to force you to start posting more content. So I want the audience to know where they can follow you guys and where they can see what you guys have going on, because it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah, well, you can follow me at Sir_Kurt. My company is Soko.group on Instagram. And I'm going to start investing into marketing. I've got a plan here for 2024. Start allocating some funds to really highlight a bit of what I do, but honestly, the marketing strategy I'm going with is going to be a bit more comical. I've been saving a bunch of really funny reels and audios that I want to start using just to attract a broader audience to construction in general.
Yeah, increase awareness.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Yeah. What about you?
You can find me on Instagram at pnatetheGreat. This year, we're diving back down in the freight business. Me and Kurt have our Uncontained. Like I said, you can follow us on there as well, Uncontained. I think that's what the Instagram is.
I think it's Uncontained NCC. We don't even post it to even know.
We posted our first project. That could be one that we would definitely put a little more content on. So, we want to focus on that as well, too, getting some more projects, getting some more fun, more artistic, creative ones on that side. That's definitely our plan for 2024, for sure.
Perfect. I like it. Well, I'll put you guys in group message. Y'all give them a follow, because I will be texting them at least 3 times a week saying, hey, where's that post today? Hope you guys are ready for it.
Yeah, good.
All right, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all's friendship. Absolutely. I really do.
Yeah, you too.
It's a good weekend. I enjoy these weekends more than I can words can even describe. So
Same. I think it's so powerful to have friends that you look up to and aspire to be. And like we were talking last night, like you're a bit of a psycho in the way you are regimented.
That's impressive. I took some notes out of this week, and I was like just trying to do some tasks of like, all right, I want to just a little more structure, and it made me feel great this whole week, like just being able to check off these boxes of if it was 100 push-ups a day, or if it was going to the gym in the morning, like doing those things. I think that's a really awesome thing that you do, like you're just strict regiment that you carry.
And the structure gives you peace, though.
Yeah. Discipline equals freedom. I think it's Jocko that says that, and couldn't be any more true. And I found my greatest peace of mind whenever I have a very structured, disciplined life. And it's kind of opposite of what you'd expect, but it's the truth. All right, guys, with that being said, let's wrap this podcast. Let's get downtown.
Let's go get some Tennessee tacos, boys.
All right, guys. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you all.